You think growth will feel like sunlight, like a warm hand pulling you upward, like the quiet relief of a burden slipping off your shoulders. But when it truly comes, it does not arrive as light. It arrives as fire. It moves through you like something tearing, unmaking, stripping away the skin of who you once believed yourself to be. And the mind, desperate for safety, calls this pain. You have been taught to measure progress by comfort, to see peace as the reward and turbulence as the mistake. But in truth, the discomfort is the door. The ache is not the wound, it is the stretching of the soul as it grows beyond the cage it has called home. The walls of the old self do not collapse politely, they crumble under the pressure of what is emerging, and every fragment that falls cuts on the way down, leaving you raw enough to feel what you once numbed. When transformation begins, it will disguise itself as loss. The things that once defined you will start to feel heavy in your hands. Conversations that once kept you warm will turn hollow. The people who fit your old shape will no longer know where to place you. You will walk into familiar rooms and feel like a ghost in them, watching a life that no longer belongs to you. And you will wonder if something has gone terribly wrong, because nothing feels like the blessing you thought awakening would be. But that is because it is not the blessing yet. It is the burning away of all that stands between you and it. Discomfort is the shadow of the threshold. It is the test that asks, not if you are ready, but if you are willing. Willing to leave behind the skin you have lived in, the identity you have built like a fortress, the habits that once kept you safe but now keep you small. Growth does not wait for your comfort to catch up. It moves like a river breaking through stone, and you must decide whether to be carried or to be broken in place. There is a reason the myths speak of descent before ascension, of wandering in darkness before touching the sky. The soul does not leap into its next chapter without first confronting the corridors where its old patterns live. You will meet them in dreams, in memories that surface without warning, in sudden bursts of emotion you thought you buried years ago. They come not to punish you, but to be witnessed, to be released from the prison of your avoidance. The mind wants a clean story, that one day you wake up, decide to grow, and everything becomes brighter. But growth is not a sunrise, it is the slow unmasking of night. It is the unraveling of every false light you once followed, so that you can see what the darkness is hiding. And in that moment, when everything feels stripped bare, you will have to stand in the truth without the armor of your old beliefs. This is why it hurts. This is why it feels wrong even as it is right. You may feel the urge to retreat, to run back to the old rooms, to reattach the familiar chains, to surround yourself with people who will tell you that you are fine as you are. But if you listen closely, beneath the noise of your fear, you will hear something else, a quieter voice that does not flatter you, does not soothe you, but calls you forward. It is the sound of your own becoming, and it will not stop. Not when you are tired, not when you are afraid, not when the old life begs you to stay. Discomfort is not your enemy, it is your initiation. If you have ever felt yourself standing in that space, the in-between where the old self is gone but the new has not yet arrived, know that you are not lost. You are in the exact place where the soil is breaking open, where the seed feels the first pressure of growth against its shell. It does not know yet that it will become a tree. It only knows the pain of splitting. And this is why the path feels so unstable. Because it is not about becoming something you have never been. It is about remembering what you already are, and shedding everything that told you otherwise. This is not comfort's work. This is not ease's territory. It belongs to the ones who will stand in the fire long enough to see that it is not destroying them, but revealing them. The discomfort will pass, but what it leaves behind, the self that is no longer bound by fear, the truth that can stand without disguise, that is yours to keep. The pain you feel now is not breaking you, it is breaking you open. If you've ever been here, if you feel it now, let yourself pause. Let the mind stop searching for the moment this will end, and instead feel the shape of what is forming in the space where the old life once stood. You may find that the ache is not emptiness, but the echo of something vast moving closer. There comes a point when the discomfort no longer feels like something happening to you, but something moving through you. as if a current beneath the surface has decided the time for stillness is over. It is subtle at first, like the faint hum before a storm, yet it begins to shape everything. You start noticing how the air feels heavier in certain places, how your own body resists some paths and leans into others, even when the mind has no reason for it. This is the silent compass of transformation, and it does not care for the logic of comfort. In this place, the soul speaks in symbols. It does not send instructions in words. It sends fragments of dreams, sudden images and memories that seem to belong to someone else but still pull at your chest. It shows you the faces of people you have not thought about in years, the smell of a room you can no longer place, the sound of a voice calling you by a name you have forgotten. These are not random. They are keys, and each one fits into a lock hidden in the architecture of your inner world. But to use them, you must be willing to hold them even when you don't understand the door they open. The discomfort grows sharper when you resist. You might notice yourself trying to bargain with it. I'll change this, but let me keep that. I'll go forward, but let me hold on to this one piece of who I was. But transformation is not a negotiation. It is a tide that cannot be split. It will take the part you are ready to lose, and the part you swore you would protect. And when it does, there will be an emptiness, not a void of nothing, but a space where the old self's echo still lingers, waiting for you to decide whether to rebuild or to remain open. This is where many turn back, because openness feels dangerous. The human mind was built to survive by clinging, by anchoring itself to what is known. But the soul's nature is different. It survives by expansion. And so the two argue inside you, one screaming for safety, the other whispering for freedom. And the discomfort is not from either voice but from the space between them, the tug of war stretching your being across two realities at once. The myths call this the underworld, not because it is hell, but because it is unseen. It is the layer of your own consciousness where shadows hold their counsels, where the unchosen paths of your life continue to breathe, where the versions of you that never lived still wait for recognition. To walk here is to feel the weight of all you could have been, and all you have been, pulling at you like roots. It is not easy to move when everything you've buried insists on rising. You didn't remember the truth, it remembered you. There is a strange comfort in realizing that the pressure you feel is not random. It is the signal of alignment, the friction that comes when two worlds, the one you built and the one you were meant to inhabit, collide. This is why every step forward feels like a tearing, because one reality must dissolve for the other to fully emerge, and you are the place where that dissolution happens. It is here that the soft call to awareness must come, not as an instruction, not as an invitation wrapped in promises, but as a mirror. If you feel the press of change inside you, if the old rooms of your life feel too small, too silent, too scripted, then you are already in the current. You don't need to try harder. You need to stop pretending you are still on the shore. Let yourself sit in this recognition. Write about it. Speak it aloud to a mirror. Trace the edges of your discomfort without trying to smooth them. You will find that each jagged piece is the outline of a door, and beyond it is the part of you that has been calling all along. Do not ask how long it will take to open it. In truth, it has been opening since the moment you first felt that ache. And when you finally cross it, when the discomfort quiets, not because the world has changed, but because you have expanded beyond the point it can contain, you will see why this path could never be easy. Ease was never the goal. Truth was, and truth, once it moves in, has no room for the furniture of your old illusions. There is a silence after the tearing, not the quiet of absence, but the stillness of a field after lightning has struck, charged, trembling, waiting. In this space, nothing feels familiar, yet everything feels inevitable. The faces you once recognized now seem like masks in a play you no longer wish to act in. The goals you once pursued carry the scent of dust. Even your own reflection feels like a relic from another life, staring at you with the eyes of someone who has been replaced. And in a way, you have been, not by something foreign, but by the version of yourself that was always waiting at the edge of your life, watching patiently for the moment you would stop resisting. This is why the discomfort grew so sharp, because the old self knew it was dying, and the new self knew it was being born. You stood between them like a midwife and a mourner, holding both beginnings and endings in the same trembling hands. This is the part they never tell you about growth. It demands grief, not just for the people or places you leave behind, but for the parts of yourself that kept you alive long enough to get here. The habits that numbed you, the identities that shielded you, the illusions that gave you comfort, they were not your enemies, they were your scaffolding. And now you are stepping into the building they helped create, knowing they can no longer stay. Discomfort is the sound of your soul, rearranging the furniture of your life. The mind will still try to return to old patterns, if only because they feel like home. But the soul no longer fits their shape. You will notice this in small, almost invisible ways. The conversations you cannot pretend to enjoy, the routines that feel like wearing clothes 3 sizes too small, the quiet disinterest in things that once consumed your attention. It's not that you're broken, it's that you've outgrown the container. And yet, there is a temptation here. The temptation to rebuild the old comfort, to create a new cage that feels familiar enough to quiet the uncertainty. This is where many stop. They mistake the end of discomfort for the arrival of truth, when in reality it is just the arrival of a larger prison. If you resist this temptation, you will begin to feel something different. Not the ache of loss, but the hum of expansion. It will feel like walking into a room you have dreamed of for years, yet never knew existed. The air will seem alive, carrying a faint taste of memory you can't quite name. And in this space, your movements will feel different, not driven by the fear of staying small, but by the pull of becoming whole. This is the integration stage, the moment when your discomfort has been alchemized into clarity, when the storm has passed and left behind not destruction, but fertile ground. Here, you will plant the new truths you have uncovered, knowing they will grow into forms you cannot yet imagine, and you will walk forward with the strange peace of someone who understands that comfort is not safety, and that safety without truth is just a slow kind of death. You are not becoming someone new, you are remembering someone eternal. The final act of growth is not loud. It does not announce itself with trumpets or lightning. It arrives quietly, in the way your hand no longer shakes when you open the door to the unknown, in the way your voice no longer trembles when you speak what you know is real, even if no one else agrees. It is the moment you realize that the discomfort you feared was never the enemy. It was the signal, the initiation, the threshold. And so you step through, not because it is easy, but because you have finally understood that the ache was not a wound, it was the sound of your own becoming. Now the only question that remains is this: when the next wave of discomfort comes, as it will you shrink from it, or will you let it carry you further into the truth you were born to inhabit?